Folks, welcome back to another reading. Today I am reading on Project 2025. I can give you a little bit of information, but I think that you should do more work in research into what it is, what it means for you if you are a United States citizen, and if your country's fortune is closely tied to that of the United States. I feel like you should know about this. This is a plan that is basically designed to dismantle much of the United States structure as a republic, a democracy, whatever term you want to choose. Whatever term you want to choose, this is intended to dismantle pieces of this government. And with Pluto in Aquarius, there's the strong likelihood to me that they will be successful. For things to go on as planned, as always planned, with the United States. I don't know that Pluto in Aquarius, or also known as the planet ruled by Uranus, or the zodiac sign ruled by the planet Uranus is what I should say. This is about sudden upheaval, incredible change to do with humanity on a broad scale, also to do with science, religion, family structure, careers, the way that humanity functions. In past Pluto Aquariuses, we've gotten numbers. We got the Arabic numeral system. We had cultural art centers, different cities throughout history where there were incredible art revivals of music and art and sculptures and wonderful things. On the flip side, Pluto and Aquariuses have also been deeply bloody. The last Pluto and Aquarius that we had was in the 1770s and lasted until the 1790s. And if you know those particular dates, well, that's when the American Revolution happened. That's when the French Revolution happened. That's when the Haitian Revolution happened. That's when the Industrial Revolution happened. All these revolutions happened, and more on top of that. We have just started, and for some people, we will be starting very soon, the Pluto in Aquarius transit, where everything radically changes, or starts to radically change. This is the butterfly effect. And I should say that it's around 20 years of the butterfly effect. Okay? So, and black swan events too. We're going to see a lot of incredible change, and there are going to be some people who stay stuck in the past and other people who choose to move along with the future. Aquarius, because it's an air sign, is going to be connected to artificial intelligence to some degree, but is definitely going to be touching and covering technology in general. So anything that's connected to technology, remember, technology are tools that help humans do stuff that they can't do on their own. So anything to do with technology in general is facing the likelihood of at least some change. Maybe not for some things, but for a whole lot of other things, yes, there will be some remarkable, rapid change. Uranus is about one day things are one way, and the next day things are another way entirely. So there's a lot of possibility for a lot of stuff, and some things might not happen. Everything might go on. Some things in some categories might go on as they've always gone on, but not everything will. And just keep in mind, hold on to your hats. I've done readings on Pluto and Aquarius, and I think that we're up for some pretty remarkable change. I've done readings for the United States and for Canada on how Pluto and Aquarius is likely to affect those countries. With that being said, I want to get into this particular reading, which is about Project 2025. I see Project 2025 as something that has been accumulating since the religious right started collaborating, working together back in the 1960s as far as the United States was concerned. And I should say that this particular reading, because I am an American and I've just known American culture, this is going to be centered on Project 2025 as it relates to the United States, okay? Later on, I'm going to focus on how it relates to the LGBT community here in just a second. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I've got a couple of questions here. My first question is, what is the likelihood that Project 2025 will actually be implemented? Okay? I'm using spoiler, there's the first card. I need to let you know what card system I'm using. This is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot system. This is called the White Numen Tarot. It is called the Sacred Animal. Also, its tagline is a Sacred Animal Tarot. I love using this particular tarot system. It's been enlightening. So, I've already spoiled it. There's the Ten of Swords. Deep betrayal. What should we expect from Project 25? What did I say? And I've X'd out of my app. What is the likelihood that Project 2025 will actually be implemented? Spirit is warning us that this is a real risk. They're saying that in many cases it's already over. Earlier, and whenever I talk to Spirit about this, there's the possibility that it could be delayed if blue folk turn out and vote this away for this election cycle. But they're going to regroup, is what I'm getting from Spirit. That there's the real risks, the real very strong possibility that this could be inevitable, no matter what it is that we do. For a time, evil reigns, but there is a dawn that comes after this. This is the end, the full end, but there is a beginning that always happens after the full end. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you can see the sun rising, starting to rise in the background. You don't see it actually, but you start to see the beginnings of sunrise. The betrayal is not always going to be, it is always going to be there in history. Over time, trauma will be healed. It will be avenged. Evil is not always given full reign. People will avenge the harm that is done to them. This is the Seven of Cups in reverse. It feels like the choice has already been made. It feels like I'm getting like bowling ball, like an alley and a bowling ball. All someone needs to do is throw a bowling ball and the pins go down and the destruction starts. That's the imagery I'm getting with this. And it's like the bumpers, with kids, they put up the bumpers over the gutters so that the ball goes into the pins no matter what. I kind of get that here. I feel like this is being encouraged. Like people are making it easy for this to happen with Project 2025. There is really nothing that we can do. Vote, yes, do your part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my part. I'm going to vote against it, of course, against those who champion it, with the full understanding that there's the very, very strong likely that this is going to happen, that there is nothing that I can do. Sometimes it sucks seeing what's going to happen, still doing your best, doing your part for history to say, I voted against this. We got the Three of Cups in reverse. This is going to break apart family structures, friends structures. This is going to break apart acquaintances. Bosses, co-workers, workplaces are going to splinter. All kinds of social circles are going to splinter as a result of this. This is going to be people tearing each other apart. The way I'm laying the cards out on top of each other, this is how this appears. This is going to tear people apart. This is going to tear this nation apart. This is going to make this nation weaker. This is going to be a horrifyingly, once again, this is going to be an extremely deep betrayal, because a lot of people are going to look at their family members and their friends and they're going to ask, why did you vote against this if you say that you genuinely love me? It's going to be a real balancing act. Sometimes it's going to be up, sometimes it's going to be down. The choice is going to be made. This isn't going to be... I sometimes associate playfulness with the Two of Pentacles, and I don't get this at all with this particular case. Very much a balancing act. Sometimes ships will... In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, in the background there are ships that are trying to work with the waves. They're in the background. If you look carefully, if you squint, it's like fine print on the card. Some ships are not going to make it. Some of the pentacles that make their cycle around and around are not going to stay in the cycle. They're going to be dropped. That's just how it's going to be. When we need to keep balance going, sometimes we need to drop other balls. In effect, to me, this is going to say, telling me that to a certain degree, because this choice was made for us, because it was inevitable, and some of us can see that clearly, especially if you're watching this reading right now. Please know that this is all allegedly, and I would freaking love to see this, none of this come true. We're going to have to drop some balls. We're going to have to turn off some burners on our stove, so to speak, so that we can concentrate on the one or two front burners if we're going to survive this. This is going to be, and also to keep our sanity, to keep our cool, to keep ourselves, our bodies protected and in balance. Literally, this is kind of a life or a death kind of situation if you look at the light and the shadow in this particular card. Life or death situations kind of chasing each other. So far, I feel like I'm getting confirmation that this is actually going to be implemented, that we cannot escape this. I'm going to ask later what people who this is going to target can do. Only one more layer on this particular question, okay? I'm going to lay this another 4 on top of the first 4. We've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. This is uprooting of fruit. Actually, this is far more sinister. This is harvesting something that's been a long-awaited harvest of lives, because this lands on top of this Ten of Swords. They've been waiting to pull this now for decades. I'm going to say again, since the 1960s, you can kind of see my bias from how I'm speaking, okay? This does affect me. They've been kind of lining their pool balls up now for decades, and they're finally making it happen now. I feel like with that bowling ball thing and other sports analogy, I hate sports, but it's coming through anyway. I think my spirit's trying to lighten the mood. They're basically, the people setting this up are setting up a home run. The Seven of Pentacles is in reverse because this is the most evil kind of harvest that you can. I feel like people are going to die. I feel like they're going to. I feel like this is going to be a bloody revolution, y'all. I feel like this could be, allegedly. Please. This is inevitable, right? So what are you... Please protect yourselves. You've got the Emperor here, and it lands on top of the Seven of Cups. A president makes a choice. It's a farce. This Emperor is not quite a farce. Yes, he is. He's a politician. He's the President of the United States. He makes a choice for everybody. It isn't something that I'm going to say it, the LGBT community, it's not something that you can do anything about. The choice will be made for us. We're going to see clearly how it affects us, but from his perspective, it's not going to hit him personally at all. He'll have no feelings in this. In a sense, you could do this from his angle. He knows precisely what he's doing. He knows precisely how this, affects people. He knows what this accomplishes. This is an evil emperor. He gets to make the choice. You can see this from either way. That's kind of a unique situation with this. Not exactly, says Spirit, sometimes. This lands on top of the Three of Cups. We're going to need to find our chosen family because this is going to really hurt. When other people leave us behind, we're going to need to find allies to help us through this crisis. It's time to stop being just online. It's time to start finding actual physical groups that meet, and you need to work with those people. You need to grow with those people. Make sure that they are vibrationally the kind of people that you're meant to hang out with, that are towards your highest good, okay? But you're going to need to batten down the hatches with people that you love, that you trust. I'm going to need to form a community that's going to help me and you out of these particular circumstances. Because this is not something that can be attempted alone, and these incredibly powerfully deep betrayals are going to shake us to our very bones. We're going to see history repeated. Allegedly, we are likely to see history repeated in the United States. And if you're as old as I am, I was born in the late 80s, you're going to remember how, a lot of our generation got the never again messaging around the Holocaust. And it's happening again. There's a real risk that this could happen again. I said there's a real strong risk that this could be a bloody revolution. This is something that they've been harvesting, getting ready for a long time. There's a dead person in the Ten of Swords. Traditionally, and in this version too. This is the yes, it is the Three of Wands, landing on top of the Two of Pentacles. If we keep things in balance, leaning most strongly towards our highest good, listening to Spirit when it says to drop balls that we have no business balancing anymore because they're obsolete. The new era has come. It's time for us to balance in such a way that guarantees the survival of our material bodies, which is what this Two of Pentacles is about. Money isn't really a part of this when we're talking about human lives very possibly ending because of this. If we follow Spirit in keeping things in check, in balance, in such a way that guarantees the survival of our bodies, we will see, there we go, we will see good results come in. We will see the ships come in, the kind of results that we want to see. But we're going to need to trust Spirit to help us balance things. We're going to need to trust Spirit on divine timing. 2 is associated with the High Priestess. That's about sitting still and listening carefully. 3 is associated with the Empress. That's the flip side of the High Priestess. And the Empress is the one who takes action because she is a culmination of all the queens, including the Queen of Wands, the one who takes action. Okay? Gender isn't a thing here. It doesn't matter how you identify on the gender spectrum. This is about listening to your intuition at one stage, and then the instant that Spirit says it's time to act, you move. Balance is going to look different depending on how external situations change. You're going to need to stay alert and drop balls and juggle the ones that you do need to juggle in order to stay afloat through this particular situation. Stay alert. Do not go back to sleep. I'm going to move on to my next question. My next question is, what should concerned Americans do about Project 2025? I've already laid out the first 4 cards. It's a 2x2 spread, like the last one. I got the Ace of Wands. We need to do new stuff. What should Americans do about Project 2025? We need to do new stuff. I'm a bit stun-locked. I normally read a little bit faster. This does affect me. You're going to need to really guard your resources alongside your 10 of Cups chosen family, okay? That's the new thing that you're supposed to be doing. This is about community wealth, because you're going to need to use community wealth in order to get out of here and establish new communities, new permanent communities elsewhere. There's the real risk that the United States could be dangerous for people like us, like in the LGBT community, for instance, who could be in danger for a number of years, and it might get worse for a number of years before it gets a whole lot better. You will be avenged. Rest assured, you will be avenged. This is an oracle card associated with this particular deck. In the upright position, it's about everything, every blessing that the universe ever wanted to give you in this lifetime, in the next, and in the lifetimes afterward. Working towards your highest good, the universe notices and wants to award you such things. With it being in reverse, those things are still coming towards you, but things might feel heavily delayed. This is landing below the Ace of Wands in this particular way. I should say that the Wands is about new spiritual journeys. You're going to need to start on new spiritual journeys toward your best and your highest good, in addition towards finding new ways of saving resources for yourself and for your chosen family in order to get through this. You do have amazing things headed your way, but you're going to have to do some work on an actual material level as well as on a spiritual level. Fire transcends both the material and the spiritual at the same time. Okay, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. This is about bad stuff happening through no fault of our own. There's nothing we can do. The wheel is turning against us, and this is why we need to take shelter, basically. Why we need to save resources that will benefit our physical bodies and keep us safe, keep us warm, keep us fed, keep us sheltered. We're going to have to collaborate and cooperate and work together in small and large communities, whatever works, in order to get through this. Take shelter and get in the mindset of preparing to take shelter now, because with Pluto in Aquarius, things tend to happen not slowly, sometimes. We've got the Fool here. I thought it was the Sun card because they look similar. With the Fool, that's about starting a whole new journey. And interestingly, it lands on top of the Ace of Wands, so a whole new way of operating just in general. For a lot of people, this is going to start a whole new life cycle. Something will have ended just before this. They're going to have to say, that part of my life is over and I have to move on. I have to do new things if I'm going to survive, and this is painful. The Fool can be a genuinely painful card when it signals the start of a new era, especially if you're someone who has some affection for the past, some nostalgia for the past. Appreciate how things are right now. Right now I'm filming this in July 2024, the middle of July 2024. If you're watching this around this particular time period, enjoy the calm before the storm. Form communities now, because there's the risk, allegedly, possibly, that this could change, that Project 2025 could start doing real destruction overnight. Once again, I'm getting that bowling ball kind of energy, that 10-pin kind of energy, where it just strikes, it hits all the pins at once, and you can kind of see it coming down the alleyway, but it still hurts when it makes impact. Page of Cups in reverse. This is going to be deeply wounding. To people of younger generations, this is going to emotionally scar them on very many levels. This is going to be deeply traumatizing, and for some people, they're never going to be able. It's going to be so bad that it's going to emotionally traumatize them to the point where they stay stagnant in that particular energy for a long time to come. Wounding. Emotional wounding is going to encourage people to really save their resources. They're going to see the writing is on the wall. I can see this, and I need to make my moves now. This hurts. Some people might stay stagnant. Other people are going to use this traumatic Page of Cups in reverse energy to move, to see that underneath this energy is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You need to move. The Four of Pentacles is normally about speed, and so, not about speed, it's about slowness, in fact. But with the Page of Cups, that's more grounded energy. That's water and earth energy together on the same card. It flows well together. Using your intuition from this particular injury is going to help you navigate this better, but you need to stay awake. You cannot go back to sleep. Your trauma might hurt to the deepest part of your core, but if you're going to survive the deepest part of your core, but if you're going to survive this, you cannot go back to sleep. You cannot avoid this. You need to get up, you need to move, you need to save for the future, you need to work with the real possibility that this could affect you on a personal level and affect the people that you love on a personal level. You need to move. So there's something that the universe is offering you. if you are willing to take the hard spiritual paths that it takes to awaken to the reality that is going on in this dimension, on this earth, in your lifetime, that you were meant to go through this in order to affect change in the positive, even if it's just you and 2 or 3 other people, even one other person. You're meant to go through this. The universe is offering you this opportunity, but are you going to take it? This is going to be hard. This is going to be painful. When you suddenly, with that Ace of Wands, with that fire energy, you're suddenly there's the possibility that you're going to have to suddenly act, and quickly. You're going to have to move fast to get out of here in order to start planning. Once you get the signal from Spirit, from your ancestors who want to protect you, who want your highest good, you're going to want to move fast, and you're going to want to accept the opportunities from Spirit to move forward into your best and your highest good. There are rewards coming for you in spite of how dire things are. And then you've got the Eight of Pentacles. In spite of the awful things that are going around you, Spirit is saying that there are still good things that you can work for that benefit your highest good, and not just your highest good, but your material highest good, that benefit your body, that benefit like if there are people dependent on you to provide for them, this will benefit their bodies too. Even if you have friends, even if you have neighbors who can benefit from your hard work, you're supposed to do it. But this card is drawing attention to the side that's about carving and taking real care and time with these plans when it comes to building up resources, because these are going to be hard times. You're going to need to make lots of different kinds of plans. If something goes wrong, you need to make a backup plan for that scenario. And they need to be careful. They need to be detailed. And it would be best if you were to collaborate with the people in your community, in your chosen family, with your friends, with your romantic partners. You're going to need to work in teams to accomplish this, to get out. Because there's the real risk that this could happen quickly. That this is basically going to be forced on us, possibly overnight. You remember what happened when 45 took office, how quickly things happened, and how it was just emergencies all over the place. And I feel like it's going to be double, triple that, because they feel like they really got a foot or 2 in the door the last time around. And that right now we're in the calm before the storm, before things get really bad. I'm getting the word bloodbath, a revolutionary bloodbath that is going to that has the real risk of taking a lot of our community out. I really hesitate to say will, because there's the possibility that I'm getting from Spirit that we can't avoid this. The best thing to do is to adapt to this in advance of this happening, and to make the very best of this new reality that we can for ourselves and for others. I'm going to move on to the next. I had an extension question. What should concerned Americans do about Project 2025? I guess the extended question has already been answered. It was, is there anything that we can do about Project 2025? I feel like I've already talked about that. My third question is, if we cannot win against the implementation of Project 2025, what really matters? If we cannot win, or since it seems like we cannot win, I'd love to be wrong. I don't want to be a doomer. what really matters. I'll be right back. I shuffled until Spirit said stop. I have the moon. In many ways, the universe is openly guiding us through this. It helps that the people planning this are telegraphing their moves in many ways. We have their playbook. There might be more stuff behind the scenes, possibly not. There might be more stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about when it comes to Project 2025, but I feel like the secret is out. I feel like there's a real risk that they will be more emboldened. Now that people know, they're going to say, well, then fuck it. We're going to double down. We're going to do more of what you're afraid of. The risk. Spirit asked me to stop shuffling at a particular point, so in some cases, I'm going to get cards that were relevant to the previous question. More information needs to be downloaded here. If we cannot win against the implementation of Project 2025, what really matters? In spite of the fact that things are going to be really, really rough, the Wheel of Fortune does not fuck around when it's in reverse. We are still being very openly guided away from this. We're being openly, it's a badly kept secret. It's becoming a worse kept secret with time. People know about this. It's going to be bad, but we know about that. More cards coming in from the previous spread. We've got the Page of Cups in reverse. The emotional cutting. These two guys are on top of each other, or on top and below each other. Seeing things as they genuinely are, as traumatic and as cutting as it will be, will benefit us in the long run. We need to see things genuinely as they are. We need to see the lights turned on the dark ride. We need to see things we need to see the skeleton of the ride so that we can be aware that things weren't as they seemed. Aquarius can expose these kinds of things. It can be good with that too. And once again, we have the opportunity to save resources. In spite of how bad things get, we don't have to lose everything. Spirit is giving us the opportunity to save resources now that benefit our bodies later. We don't have to lose everything if we pay attention to ancestors, to guides, to gods, to the universe's warnings. No more for this particular question. I'm going to move on to the next one. What would Spirit like LGBT Americans to know about Project 2025? I'm getting from Spirit that I should continue these particular 4 cards and just layer on top. So, LGBT Americans, a lot of them, some of them, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them already know about this. There's a real risk, though, that some of them could miss out on an opportunity because they say it won't happen to me. I see this. This is about stagnancy. Some may freeze. They already know about it, but they're frozen in place. They may feel powerlessness. This particular individual hasn't grabbed the cup yet, but there's a potential that they may. There's going to come a crystallizing choice for a lot of LGBT Americans on whether they're going to take this opportunity in spite of their emotional wounding from seeing all this unfold and target them, perhaps not first, but soon after the first ones are targeted. I feel like trans folks are quite possibly some of the first people who will be targeted by Project 2025, and aggressively. We've got the White Numen once again. In reverse, it lands on top of the Wheel of Fortune. In spite of the bad things, we still have amazing things coming in from the universe because of what we've gone through. Ace of Wands once again. Our trauma, our pain, our hurt should be used, I'm sorry, they're slippery cards, to act in different ways. We need to accept the guidance from the universe that we're given, in spite of how painful they may be. These are emotional revelations. A lot of us are not going to want to hear what the universe has to say about us not being able to do anything, that we need to save us, save ourselves, save each other instead. We can't do anything about this, so we need to move on, and we need to do things that will save ourselves and save each other. Vote blue, but keep in mind, I wonder if this Wheel of Fortune wasn't in some ways divinely scheduled. Over decades, this is how the karmic scales tipped. They will tip back in the other way. That's what this White Numen is about. There will be karmic punishment for those who have implemented this, even gradually over decades, even if they've passed away, over generations, even if it was generations ago. Those who laid the foundation for this tipping of the karmic scales in one particular direction, will be punished. We will be avenged. But keep in mind that this is delayed, that this is going to hurt. You deserve to know the truth. The Emperor is going to do some, here's another warning, okay? The President is going to do a lot to attack our resources, the things that make our bodies materially comfortable. That includes money, that includes jobs, that could include housing, that could include things like food, for instance, things that meet our daily sustenance needs. You need to be aware. You need to make plans to keep yourself safe. You need to get into communities. You need to understand that you are going to be actively attacked. This Emperor is not fucking around. No more from me. I hope you get this message exactly when you're meant to hear it. And I hope that you pay attention. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you will be safe. Yeah. Have a good day. Take care.